Now, I personally feel that this is a very intelligent question, and the interviewer is trying to understand that, really, do you understand views or not? So before I go ahead and answer this question, let me explain you what exactly this question means. Now, before we try to understand the question, let me just quickly go and brush up what exactly are views. A view is nothing but it's a virtual table which contains data from different base tables. So for example, you can have a view which sits on the top of base tables like customer or address, and it pulls up the name field from the customer table, and it pulls up the phone field from the address table. So putting in other words, you can think about that view actually is encapsulated query which fetches data from different tables or different base tables or different physical tables. Now what the interviewer is trying to ask you here is that if we go and update this view over here, will it go and update the base tables? So in other words, for example, in this scenario, if I go and update, or if I go and add a record, let's say I go and add a record for name and phone, will it go and put the data into the customer table and the address table? So the best way to answer this question is by demonstrating it. So you can see that we have a simple customer database here, and in this customer database we have two tables here. One is the customer table and the other one is the address table. Now what we'll do is, let's go ahead and create a view on the top of these two tables, and let's try to update the view, and let's see that if it can go and update multiple base tables or not. So in order to create a view, you can see that there's a views folder here. So let's right click on this views folder, add a new view, and we'll say yes, we want to create a view on the address table as well as the customer table, right? So I'm going to go and add both of these tables, and what we'll do is, let's pick up all the fields for the view for now. So I'm going to pick up address ID, I'm going to pick up oh, I added the address table here, I'm sorry. We have to add the address table and the customer table, right? So we'll pick up the address, all the address fields, all the fields from the TBL address table, as well as I'll pick up all the fields from the TBL customer table, right? So you can see that actually it's nothing but it's a simple inner join here. So let me just go and save this view, and I'll give the name as my view, right? So you can see that we have created a very simple view here, and this view is actually using two base tables. One is the TBL customer and the other one is the TBL address. And I'll just go and close this. I'll save this. Now let me go to my view here, and let me just go and see the records. So you can see that it's actually, the view is actually showing me records from both the tables. You can see that address ID, address 1, phone number is from the address table, and you can see customer ID, customer name, quantity, total, and per product is from the customers table. Now let's go ahead and edit this view, okay, or I'll say let's go and edit the data of this view, and let's try to go and update the multiple base tables. So I'm going to go and right click on this view here and click on edit top 200 rows. So what we'll do now is, let's go ahead and add data to both the tables, right? So I'll say yes, my address ID is 101, let's say address Mumbai, sorry, 101, address Mumbai, phone number something, customer ID something. This I'll leave it as it is. Actually this is the customer ID field which is there in the customer table, and this is the customer ID field which is there in the address table. So let's keep it at this moment 2 and 2. Customer name Shiv, quantity 10, let's say per product 100. Now let's try to go and push this data into both the base tables. So you can see over here now I'm trying to add this record here. So the first 4 columns will go to the address table, right? And the other columns here will go to the customer table. Now if I try to go and do a tab here, right, you can see that I'm getting a nice error over here, and let me just go and zoom on this error. So I'm going to go and do a zoom here, and you can see that the error clearly states that this insertion of records is actually affecting multiple base tables. So it is not able to commit the record. In other words, when we are updating the view, or when we are updating the view, means when we are adding a record to the view, or deleting a record, or probably updating a record, if it is going and affecting only one base table, then the view will be able to do it. But if it is affecting multiple base tables, the view will not be able to update the data. In other words, let me just go back here. Now if I try to just go and add the customer record to the customer table, let's say, okay, so let's say I say here, customer record, let's say 2 Shiv 10 200. Duplicate key, where exactly it is. Okay, let me just make this as 400. Right, now you can see over here I have added a new record which just goes and affects the customer table. So you can see that I have added a customer ID 400 which is actually inserting a customer name called a Shiv with a quantity 10 and per product 200. Now let's go to the customer base table to check that if this record 400 with customer name Shiv has been added to the physical table or not. So let me just go and expand the tables folder here. Let me go to the TBL customer, and you can see over here currently I have selected the customer records. You can see the last record here. This last record is the one which we have inserted via the view. So you can see the 400 customer ID and the customer name Shiv, right? So let's sum up what exactly the interviewer is expecting from you for this question. So the proper answer to this question is, you can only update columns of a view if they come from the same base table. So if you're trying to update a view and the columns are coming from multiple base tables, the updation will not be successful. So I hope that you have enjoyed this video. In this video we were trying to understand, or we were trying to answer a SQL Server interview question: are SQL Server views updatable or not? Now if you have really liked this video, if you really like what I'm doing over here, you can do a small favor for me. Go ahead and share this video. Share this video on your Facebook account, share this video on your Twitter account, share this video on your blog, wherever you want it, so that other people who are searching for jobs in SQL Server, they can take benefit of this channel. So this also serves as encouragement for me, so that at least I know that yes, there are audience who are hearing me, right? So I hope that you will share this video, you will let the world know about it, and I hope that everybody gets a job soon, and I hope that everybody gets benefited and the world is a better place to stay. Thank you so much.